Dalvin Cook was on his podcast, the Adam Schefter podcast. That is a thing.
Yep.
And
Sure.
I assume that thing could break news anytime it wants to.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
If Schefter really wanted to. Dalvin Cook said, love to play alongside DeAndre Hopkins. Love. Wouldn't mind it at all.
Okay.
That could potentially happen at a place right now, especially depending upon what these two guys are looking at in the market. You know, some people have said that DeAndre Hopkins is going to be looking for the biggest paycheck. DeAndre Hopkins hasn't said that, though.
No.
He has not come out and said that at all. Then there's people reporting, well, he's going to want what Odell Beckham Jr. wanted. He just signed for 15 or whatever, up to 18.
Yep.
Why would Nuke think anything differently than what OBJ just got? He's played more recently than OBJ. Yeah. He obviously is the only person that is a weapon on some of the teams that he has been on and been very productive. He is going to expect that type of money. It's like, well, the timing of everything, situations are situational.
That's right.
Nuke knows that.
Yep.
He's probably learning that as he's taking his trips. Maybe the money won't be that good. So do you take good money and then do a prove-it year, and then bang, whenever you're able to hit the actual free agent cycle, whenever there's really money available from teams, you'll be able to go and hit it. So that would mean he's looking for a good situation, a good team, primetime games probably.
Yeah.
You always want to win a Super Bowl in the year.
Yeah.
You're trying to prove it.
For sure.
You go somewhere else because if you win, there's enough going on. And what if Dalvin Cook's in the same situation? Now, people have assumed because Dalvin Cook's not taking any visits or doing anything like that he has a plethora of options. We would agree because he's fucking Dalvin Cook.
So good.
But if Dalvin Cook finds himself in one of those situations as well, where it's like, hey, probably going to have to just do a year thing here because we don't know what the future is and we're not able to offer you as much money as you are currently worth because the timing in which this whole thing took place. So maybe he takes a deal that's like, all right, let's get on a team that's going to be good and that's going to be in prime time and that potentially wins a Super Bowl because that supersedes everything that you could possibly figure out for the next contract when teams are just looking for, hey, you know, LaShawn McCoy got picked up by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Bingo.
You know what I mean? Still, but even without playing in Kansas City, don't know what the reason was.
Yeah.
No. He has said
He's
some
giving a
things.
couple of his opinions about it. But
He's awesome.
Him and Eric, the enemy.
Yeah.
There it is.
He's awesome. And the enemy said, I do not care what is outside of these walls.
No.
Okay, the noise outside, I have to listen right here. And I'm like, oh, the enemy hates.
oh yeah,
Does
He
not
hates
like
the
those guys hate each other, not for sure.
Yeah. they do.
Anyways, but at least think about what happened with him from Kansas City down to Tampa Bay, his job, let alone if Dalvin Cook goes in and does well, they win, next deal could be it. So you would see a team like Kansas City Chiefs, Brett Veach, figuring out how to fucking get DeAndre Hopkins and Dalvin Cook onto their football team.
Yeah.
And it would be Pacheco and Dalvin Cook in the background, in the backfield. And then it would be tight end university, tight end of the year, Travis Kelce. With Nuke. They got Kadarius Toney, who they're starting to get into the offense more and more, let alone his return game. Mecole, is he still over there?
He's with the Jets now, but MVS is over there now.
There's the deep threat MVS off the top of it. It's like, yeah, and of course, Patrick Mahomes will be able to have a never-ending supply of electrifying weapons.
Yeah.
And I don't know why every other team isn't trying to do what they're doing. And I know Kadarius Toney was supposed to be the next Tyreek Hill. Supposed to be the next Tyreek Hill. Well, he was at the Giants, he wasn't.
No. Joe Judge calling plays.
Setting up for punts, which I like, but not everybody does.
Sure.
Kadarius Toney has a hamstring.
What?
Traded the Chiefs.
What?
Feel good.
Wow, legs feel
Feel
great.
good. Let's go ahead and do this. So the Giants technically had a Chiefs-like player. And then they said, it doesn't work. Let's get him the fuck out of here. And the Chiefs were like, thank you. You run a 4-2? Thank you.
Yeah, we'll take him.
Are you untackleable? Thank you. Come on here. And then at quarterback, we got the next one. So we have an offense coordinator who knows every single play in the history of football.
Yes.
Like, actually.
Yeah. All of them.
Have a smarter, all of the plays in the history of football. Offensively. I don't know how we're going to have to try him defensively.
Maybe though.
Who knows?
There's a chance.
Offensively, he knows every play in the history of football, and he's a good play caller. Like in games, good play caller, knows who and what to attack and how to attack it. We have a bunch of smart players. Like the core of our players, all incredibly intelligent. So we can change up our game plans. All we need you to learn, if you're not a super genius, 4 or 5 things, and we're going to be good. It's a perfect setup in Kansas City. And if they end up with Dalvin Cook and DeAndre Hopkins, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. Let's dive into it. Your podcast, Dalvin Cook, saying that he wouldn't mind being teammates with So
back to that. Let's get back to that.
Yeah, we got that business done. Let's talk about this business. That would be big business. And is anybody thinking about that?
Well, I said to him at one point during the podcast, I'm like, have you spoken or reached out to DeAndre, had any communication with him at all during this? And he hadn't. He's like, I don't have his number. I'm like, I'll send you his number, reach out to him, and that would be interesting. He's like, I'd love to play with him. It would be epic. Now, do I think that that's going to happen ultimately? Probably not. But it's not out of the question. It's just a question of whether a team would be willing to play both, whether each guy might be willing to take a little bit less to be together. Again, not a likely scenario, but not out of the question. They're both free agents. You don't find players of their caliber on the street in late June at the same time together. And it looks like neither one's in any great rush. It could happen at any time. But, teams will get ready for training camp, and it seems like things will pick up closer to then for them. But if they want to go and make it a package deal, they could certainly do that. They could talk about that. And it'll be two great guys to have in your team right now.
How do you see that going for both of them? Do you think they are going to, because you said they would have to take less money. Obviously, they would if they're going to the same team. Would it be a one-year type deal that we're kind of seeing out of some other players? Got to prove it type deal? That's why they would take the pay cut, and they would prove it and win and then potentially get another big deal somewhere else. How would that work? And have you heard from teams on whether or not they're going to pay D-Hop or pay Dalvin Cook, who we both believe
dogs
still up here in the whole thing, but it is June. It is a weird time.
Well, I think the idea of them playing together is probably more fantasy football than anything else. But like I said, not out of the question. And so DeAndre visited Tennessee and New England. Could I see Tennessee be interested in Dalvin? No. Could I see New England make a call? Yeah, I could see that. Ooh. Now, could they both wind up in New England? Whoa. Again, it just seems a little bit of a stretch, but why not, right? I don't think it's a likely scenario. Like I said, that would be a team that would come to mind. I proposed on my podcast that the New York Jets should take a run at Dalvin Cook. That makes sense to me. If you look at the Jets schedule early in the year, it's a gauntlet. Look at their first 6-7 games. They play the Bills, they play the Cowboys, they play the Chiefs, they play the Eagles. They are really up against it early, and we don't know how soon and how effective Breece Hall is going to be coming back from the ACL that he suffered in Week 7 last year. So if Breece Hall is not 100% and you could complement him with a guy like Dalvin Cook, great. Now maybe you do a deal with Dalvin and then you say, hey, DeAndre, we'd love to have you here too in New York. I know we haven't visited yet, but why don't you come to New York? He's in New York right now. He's posting videos. It's not hard to get him out to New York and go visit with the Jets. So again, probably more fantasy football than anything else, but on June 21st, it's a fun topic to talk about.
It certainly is. It certainly is. And we appreciate your passion and your selling there because as a New York Jet, I'm thinking Breece Hall, we forget Breece Hall. Breece Hall was so good.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Immediately in the NFL, he gets in every single week, we see this motherfucker running away from people. Mm-hmm. We see him pulling away from people that are smaller than him. Every single week.
Let me tell you something. You think about it, he would have won. Yeah. He would have won the Offensive Rookie of the Year. And instead, Garrett Wilson wins the Offensive Rookie of the Year. And Sauce Gardner wins the Defensive Rookie of the Year. So they got some young talent there. And Dalvin there in New York, to me, would make a lot of sense. I don't know how interested the Jets are or aren't. I would think that it'd be logical that everybody wants to go play with Aaron there. So we'll see if the two sides can somehow get together at some point in time. And in my opinion, make a match that would make some sense for both sides.
God, could you imagine this Jets team going on a run? Hall could have happened in Green Bay.